This happy note, we've mentioned all the names already, and we shall start now with the Shiur Be'ezras Hashem of Maseches Kiddushin. Maseches Kiddushin Daf Yud Amud Beis towards the bottom of the page. Today's page is Yud Aleph Amud Aleph, but we're right now still in Yud Amud Beis. Vehachi Sholach Lei. We already said yesterday there was Vehachi Sholach Lei. The line starts with the word Umi Derabonon. Umi Derabonon. We are sort of in the middle of a topic, but I will, catch up and fill in the holes. Basically, there was a discussion yesterday that today we're going to understand, rewrite the discussion between Ben Bagbag and the famous Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseil from Netzivin. Vehachi Sholach Lei. This is what Ben Bagbag sent as a letter to Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseil. Shamati alecha. I heard a rumor about you. I heard something about you. Sha'ata oimer, you say arusa bas Yisrael ocheles batruma. I heard you saying, people say on your behalf that you say that an arusa bas Yisrael, a woman who is a regular girl who was born to a Yisrael parents, she's a non-Kohen, once she's already me'oreses, once she is mekudeshes me'oreses, she's an ashes ish from a Kohen, because she, let's say, received money or star. Yeah, let's leave B on the side now. I heard you saying that she's ocheles betruma, although she doesn't live with the Kohen, because the second stage of chuppah didn't happen yet. So she's now moreses, so that's an in-between stage. She lives with her parents, and still she eats betruma, velo chayshat lesimfoin. And I heard you're not concerned about what you should be concerned, which is simfoin. What is a simfoin? Let's now understand it better. Simfoin means a disclaimer. Simfoin means like a contra, which means simfon, for example, in Vav Metzia Daf Chof, simfon is mentioned as a receipt. You have a shtar. What proves that you paid the shtar and annuls the choiv, the debt? A simfon. Simfon annuls the other thing that's against it, a shtar. Here, simfon means a mum. Let's say a man sees his wife and they were dating and they were even meuras, but he obviously doing the right way, the right thing, the right process. He never saw her really, I'm saying, with her hidden parts. He only saw her sanua in all 3, 4, 5 dates. So he doesn't know that she may have a mum that was not seen to him before. Now he's going to see that she has a mum, she has a blemish, she has something really ugly. And therefore, in case that happens, in case of this happening, the entire Kiddushin would be annulled retroactively in the Mafreya. The Kiddushin are annulled. Why? Because he would say, such a mum, nobody told me about that. The Shadchonim lied to me. Nobody told me about it. The parents didn't tell me. She didn't tell me. Now you can see that she has that blemish. Obviously, the Kiddushin never even started. It doesn't need to get. And it's not something that happened now. It's not a problem developed after the marriage. This is a problem that was always there. And it's proven. And therefore what? In other words, what Ben Bagbag is trying to hint is to say, I definitely think you should be concerned for Simfon. What does Simfon have to do with their sugya? Well, it has to do. Because if that girl really, eventually, when she'll get Nesua, which is the next stage, when she really lives with him, and he'll realize that she has a Simfon, the entire Erusin was never an Erusin. Retroactively, we'll all of a sudden find out that the rug is pulled from under her feet because she was never really a Rusa. So she was a Bas Yisrael, not Milresis to a coin. She was just a regular Israeli girl. An Israeli, not Israeli, Israel girl. So that Israel girl is not allowed to eat Truma. So don't feed her Truma while she is still in her father's house, while she's still not Nesua, because maybe we don't know how the wind's going to blow. And I think symphony is something you should take into account. And if you don't, then it can create a big michshol, can create a catastrophe. Sholachle. Now, and again, they're talking on the Rabbanon level. As opposed to the previous sugya, they both agreed that midoraisa, the woman should be eating truma, but Rabbanon, yes, as you said yesterday, Rabbanon were metaken, be concerned of symphon, be concerned for a symphon. Maybe it's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Let's play it safe. Don't give her truma so quickly before it's not over till it's over. So don't yet give her truma. This is what Ben Bagbag says, and he's kind of blaming Ben Beseira. Why don't you say the same? Sholach comes Ben Beseira. Why is it Sholach all the time? Because Ben Yehuda Ben Beseira lived in Chul. He lived in Netzivin. Netzivin was a thing somewhere to the north. He was not considered part of Eretz Yisrael. That is what Toyses Sochim says. I think Dalad Amud Beis or Gimel Amud Beis. Don't you say that? don't you, Ben Bagbag, shouldn't you agree with me? I know about you that you are well versed all rooms of Torah, in all areas of Torah. You're Talmid Chacham b'kol chadrei Torah. V'lidrosh b'kal v'chomer yata yodea. Don't you know how to create a simple kal v'chomer, a master like you? Uma shivcha knainis. I'll tell you what my kal v'chomer is. Going back to shivcha. Uma shivcha knainis she'en bi oso machiloso betruma. Oh, as we explained yesterday, shivcha knainis, yeah, if a kohen has bia with the shivcha knainis, for all the good reasons, not for znus, he's a good boy. He thinks that he's Makadisher. He thinks he's Koiner. Well, nothing. No, you don't. You don't acquire Shivcha Kananis by Bia, and you don't Makadisher by Bia. There is no Kiddushin for a Chamor like yeah. So therefore, the Bia doesn't, of a Shivcha Kananis. He got Shivcha Kananis from the market. She's not his Shivcha Kananis. He was Ba on her. She doesn't get to eat Truma from him, of this Kohen. And yet, Kaspa Machiloso Betruma. Yet, if you acquire her with Kesef, money, and Geld, you bought her for money, and then she's yours. How's that called? Kinyan kasboy. Then she starts eating truma. Remember the quiz from yesterday? And Eved Knani, Shivcha Knanis are better than Eved Ivri in the sense that they eat the truma of their kohen because they're owned by the kohen, part of his family, more than an Eved Ivri. So you see that Bia doesn't work, and yet Kesef does work for Shivcha Knanis. You're so concerned about simfon? I'm sorry. But Shivcha Kananis, we never saw, maybe 2, 3, 4 days later, he'll discover the Shivcha Kananis as a simfon. Maybe she has some kind of issue that he never knew about, and he doesn't want her as a worker. She's not his wife. Maybe he's not going to be interested in her as a worker. It never happened to you? You employ a person, no, week into his work, you see there's the laziest guy in the world. I don't know, you see something terrible. So maybe the whole thing is a mekach tos. And you see by Shivcha Kananis, we're not concerned of the simfon. So Zu, let's continue the Kal V'chomer into a regular woman. Zu should be also machiloso betruma, a woman whose bia does give her truma, and that's for sure, either bia with chuppah or without chuppah. That's the other discussion. But definitely, once there's bia with a wife, she eats truma. Enodin shekaspa machiloso betruma. So too the kesef should feed her truma. In other words, at the end of the day, besides the kal v'chomer, which is in a deraisa level, loy motzinu, says Ben Beseira, your Heilige Simfon you're so concerned about, I didn't see that by Eved Knaini, which is a source for a woman. I didn't see that by Eved Knaini we're concerned about Simfon. I don't have to be holier than anybody else. And therefore, just like by Eved Knaini, there's no concern of Simfon, although it could have happened. So too, by a woman, there's no concern of Simfon. But you know what? At the end of the day, I agree with you through the back door. It doesn't really agree with you. I do agree that at the end of the day, that Bas Yisrael, I have to hold myself every time not to say engaged. It's not engagement. That Bas Yisrael who's me'oreses to the Kohen, when push comes to shove, I will not really let her eat truma, but from a different reason. What's a different reason? Aval ma say, what can I do? Shar'omu chachomim. Chachomim already established. Arusa Bas Yisrael ein ocheles betruma. Arusa Bas Yisrael, who is me'oreses to the Kohen, doesn't eat truma until she's under the huppah. She doesn't eat truma mishum de ula. Full stop. Period. In other words, because of ula. What did ula say? What we said already a million times. Ula gives a different reason why a Bas Yisrael me'oreses lekohen should not eat truma, and that is she may pour some wine of truma that she would receive from her choson, from her orus. She would get it while she lives in her own house with her siblings, and she may mistakenly give it to her brothers and sisters. Yeah, she doesn't have a sheitel on her head yet. She's like a girl, but she's more rosa, right? And then what? What's going to happen then? Oh, you see that there will be a kilkul. Therefore, they said, don't give her truma. The Gemara will ask eventually what's the argument between Ben Bagbag and Rabbi Ben Beseira, because at the end of the day, they both agree, right, that she doesn't eat truma. Ben Bagbag says why? Because of simfoin. And Rabbi Ben Beseira says because of maybe she'll give the other people to drink. Yeah? So that is a machloikes. Now, but still, right now we're holding in the earlier stage of the discussion, what would Ben Bagbag answer the Kal V'chomer? Well, Ben Bagbag, what would you say? Ben Bagbag, we're now, the ball is in Ben Bagbag's court. And the question is, Ben Bagbag, how do you explain to us the difference between avodim and a woman? In other words, you're concerned for a simfon, maybe the deal will be over, canceled. That woman with this ugly, disgusting, I don't know, blotches, marks, I don't want her. Well, the same thing may happen to avodim, and yet by avodim we're not concerned. So why are you, yes, concerned by a woman? Seems like Yudam the Beser is right. And says the Gemara, Uben Bagbag, Simfan Bavodim Leislei. The Gemara is going to work hard now to prove to us that by avodim or shfachos, doesn't matter the gender, there is no issue of simfoin. In other words, there could be a lot of issues that avodim may have a lot of issues. Workers may have a lot of issues. But simfon means something that A, is hidden, B, you care about it and should logically, halachically care about it, right? Yeah. And it's something that wasn't discovered until the end, and other conditions as well. Let's go one by one. Says the Gemara, I'll prove to you what simfon doesn't exist with avodim. Imu min shebagoluhu. If it's a mum golui, let's say it's a mum which can be seen. You took the Eved Knani to a work interview. You saw him where they deal with avodim Knanim. You see the guy has no hand. You see he has no foot. You see that I don't know. You see that he has no teeth, and that bothers you. You can't stand people without teeth. I don't know what. Well, you saw it. Akachozile, you accepted it. You saw it right away. Simfon means something that was hidden. If it's golui, by definition, it's not simfon because you could see it straight away. You still bought him. You can't say, oh, now I can't take it. Well, you knew about it. Yeah, it's like with a girl. Let's say the girl comes to the date and her mother and the son, so she has no hand. Lo leinu. She's chashon, imputed. You saw it. What do you want? What do you want now? If the mum is hidden, all of a sudden the Eved Ivri, takes off his shirt while he's working in the field with the cotton, and he sees he has this terrible blemish on his back. What do you care? What do you care if the guy, hopefully the girl, what do you care if they have a hidden blemish? Why should that bother you? All you need him or her is for work, not for anything else. What do you care what they have under the clothes? How do you know about it? You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care about it. And Aloha doesn't endorse that. So Mimanavshach, we are stuck. So any physical mum, either you know about it or you shouldn't care about it, as I told you before. Now, what about emotional things? What about his criminal record? Maybe there are other secrets, skeletons in the closets, which I didn't know about. Nim Tsaganav Okubustus. Let's say he came out. I thought David was such a nice guy. And all of a sudden I can see and I hear that he's a thief. Yeah, he looks great. He has absolutely no blemishes. Yeah, no, nor here nor there. But he's a ganav. The guy is a professional thief. Or kubustus. Kubustus is either a kidnapper, ad kedei kach, according to Rashi, or kubustus, according to the Ritva, is kubia. What's kubia? Gambler. He's a gambler, and as a gambler, I don't want Mevid to be a gambler. Yeah. So maybe if the Eved has, ill reputation, he's not the right kind of guy which I was looking for. Hegioi, no. Says the Gemara. The Gemara says in different places, in Bava Kama, Bava too, I think, that almost all avodim are thieves. Avodim are muchzak to be thieves, and you still buy them. They are muchzak to be thieves. Hegioi, Kubustis is a chiddush. Even though it kidnapping people back then wasn't so bad. It's like Mexico today. It's quite an accepted thing. You deal with a guy and then he releases it's not like kidnapped by Hamasim Achshimam. In other words, the kibustis or a guy who does that is very bad, but that's avodim are like that. A lot of azrot, they steal, they this, they're lazy. You still employ ozeret. I'm saying that's the way it is. Hegio, you accepted it. We assume that stam ganovim are like stam avodim ganovim. Istami accepted it. It's not a good enough excuse. Oh, Mevid is a ganav. Oh, it's all a cancel deal. It's a non-deal. We don't go for that. It's assumed to be like that. Put better hidden cameras. Deal with it. My Omar, what could you say? Now, what could be worse? Listi mezuyan. Let's say the guy is a real armed robber. That's already a cut above. That's already a step above. Let's say all of a sudden sees that he's Eved Knaini that he bought. Mamish walks around, I don't know, at night or a day, his free time. He goes and he's with his gun, he's attacking people and robbing them. That's not the norm already by regular avodim. The regular avodim, they steal some extra, jewelry from your wife's drawer. They don't go out there to the bank with a gun. All of a sudden, I didn't know that. And he came out, he was always like that. So maybe that's a mekach tos. Oy nichtav lamalchus or muchtav lamalchus. He's a runaway convict. He's on a death row, and he ran away from the Texas jail. Nechtav lamalchus. He's a guy who the malchus says he should be killed. He was sentenced to death, and he somehow managed to, I don't know, wriggle it around, and he's now here. I don't want such a guy who is, a convicted murderer, and anyhow, the government will take him soon. Oh, these seems to be reasons to definitely not be happy with my new current worker. Maybe that's a simphon. I had no idea about it. Everyone lied to me about it. The guy who sold it to me never told me that he's such a criminal. So now I don't want him. Maybe that's a simphon, and that should be a reason not to feed him truma. Don't lose sight. Maybe that's be a reason not to feed him truma. And yes, we see that we do feed him truma right from the first day. Says the Gemara, no. Anhu Kala Islahu. They have called. Mimanafsha. That's goinish. If the crime is so great, the guy is really out of line, he's the head of a mafia, he's mamish a terrorist, yeah, or the guy's been convicted, the guy's mamish a runaway murderer, then people would know about it. We're sure that there is a call, there are rumors about it. People back then lived in smaller communities. Yeah, let's say this community, let's say in your shul, shul people more or less know everybody. Let's say there's one guy who was sentenced to death, olden, was sentenced to life imprisonment, and he ran away. People in shul would know about it. You don't have to be the biggest yachne not to know, especially if you want to employ him, right? You would check him online, right? So therefore, if the crime is a small crime, you don't care about it, it's accepted, unfortunately. If it's a big crime, you probably heard about it. That's what I'm trying to tell you before. Either you knew about it or you don't care about it. Simphon means something that I had no idea about, but I care about it. That's only by a woman. That's by marriage. By marriage, the woman looked beautiful and pretty and nice and well put, whatever, in all the dates. And inside, I don't know, in some hidden part, she has a terrible blemish. And surprisingly, nobody in Shidduchim told the guy. That can happen, yeah. So Mimela, by a woman, there is a concept called simphon. The Shenkan Be'avodim, there isn't. That's a good reply of who? Of Ben Bagbag. Ben Bagbag says, don't compare the two. I'm sorry, Ben Beseira. Don't compare the non-simphon be'eved to the non-simphon be'woman, because be'eved there is no simphon, be'woman there is. And therefore, I would be concerned for simphon. However, I don't know what would be the answer of Ben Beseira, but Beseira says, no, that we could have been choshesh and we are not. By Eved we're not, so to by women we shouldn't. But fact the Gemara, this is all nice in theory. But at the end of the day, now push comes to shove, now come to the bottom line, michdi. At the end of the day, ben lemar uben lemar loy ochlo. This argument seems to be an absolutely moot point, just a theoretical argument. Ben lemar, both opinions believe she doesn't eat the truma. Why? Either because of simphon, because maybe the whole marriage will just fall apart retroactively. She was never married to a kohen. Oy, 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 oy. How are you eating truma? You're not the real Eshes Kohen. Or because definitely they'll be living happily ever after. Elamai, we're not concerned of simphon. Elamai, Pashut, she may come and give it to drink to her brother and sister. My benayu, what's the difference between them practically? Is a practical, what's called in Old French, nafkamine between the two? Is there a difference in nafkamina between the two opinions? Answers the Gemara, yes, and I'm following Rashi here, not Tosfos. Ikabenayu, there are 2/3 differences. It's really 2 divided to 3. Kibel, Mosar, Veholach. Number 1, Kibel. Let's say the guy did know about the simphon. Let's say the shadchan was strangely honest, yeah, and the shadchan told him, she has a terrible mark on her, I don't know, on her back. It doesn't matter, yeah. She has a real big simphon, and she has a whole symphony. She has, yeah, and what? And the guy says, okay, I still think she's a great girl. I accept it, no problem, fine. Beseder. I go for her personality. I don't care about it. I'm fine with it. I'm a tzaddik. I'm a porush. I'm fine. I'm okay. Then what? Oh, if the chashash is simphon, there is no chashash. There is no chashash. He was told about the simphon. You're concerned there will be a simphon means it's hidden. It's not hidden. He agreed. Yeah. So mitzad simphon should eat truma right away, right? According to Ben Bagbag, lady, you can start drinking one of truma the second after you have your ring on your finger. The shenken, if the chashash is she's going to give it to brothers and sisters, of course the chashash is there, right? The chashash is there because ma'kesha, nothing to do with simphon, not simphon, or their future happiness together. Right now, she may come and feed the wine or the grape juice, whatever, to her brother and sister. That concern is there. That will be one of kamina. Another nafkamina is very similar, mosal veholach. Mosal veholach are 2 versions of a stage which today I don't think exists b'chlal. Maybe I'm wrong. And that is, mesira is when the father, some stage when the girl leaves her father's house and she goes to the husband's house. She's already moresis. She got the ring on her finger. She got the money. She got the shtar. She got the bia, maybe bia irusin. And what now? Now she's going to the chosen's house. Either mosar, the father gave her over to the shluchim of the husband. They come to the father, and he gives her over to the shluchim, to the messengers, to the representatives of the husband. And now she's on her way between what? Between the father's house and her new home with her choson. Holach means he himself went there. Yeah, he's more of an involved father. He's an interfering father-in-law. And he went with her. He starts walking with her between her house, where she lived as a girl, to the house where she's going to live as a married woman. What's an afkamina? Mitzad simfon, there is a chashash. Simfon may happen, right? She's on her way. The chosen is home thinking, of a woman who's nice and healthy, normal looking. He doesn't know she has a simfon. Let's say on the way, somebody's suggesting her, can you have a piece of truma? Would you like to try a piece of, maybe the chosen, such a romantic guy. Yeah, she has a journey from her house, from her home to her future home. The chosen sent her a nice bouquet, not bouquet, a nice platter of nice cut fruit, like they have nowadays, and all truma. So then, if Lamadomer Simfoin, there is a concern. He'll meet her tonight and oivavoy. So maybe right now, the entire marriage and the whole journey, she's not an Eshes Kohen. So don't eat those mitzad simfon. But mitzad giving brother and sister, there is no chashash, because she's not with the brother and sisters anymore. She's officially out of her house. It's not stam a journey. Maybe if they accompany her, maybe that would be an issue. I don't know. But usually that's not the case. She's now in a new stage, knowing I'm not belonging anymore to my siblings, to my original, habitat. Elamai, I'm going to a new place. They're not around, the brothers and sisters. And therefore, there's no chashash that should give them anything. And therefore, now she's already good to go. And she can take and partake from the truma. That are two, three nafkar. Two versions of the same thing. Either she goes alone, or the father is going with her. I guess the father would be smart enough not to take truma. It's only brothers and sisters that would know. And therefore, there's no problem. That's enough kamina between simfain and that. An Eshes Kohen who is just Meroso does not eat truma. And an Eshes Kohen who is married properly, who is Nesua, she eats the truma. Eved and Shifcha Knainim eat truma of a Kohen once they're bought with money, and the Eved Ivri of all types does not get. The question about Bia, Nisuin Oysa, Erusin Oysa was not yet resolved. And I saw something in halacha which was not so clear to me, and I don't want to stop tell you. I owe you two things from previous shiurim. Before we continue, I want to hear, if you have questions, it's good. I'll hear you soon. Topic number one was, remember that when we spoke about shtar, we said shtar erusin and shtar nisuin. As I was reading it in the middle of shiur, I was saying, what's shtar nisuin? There's no such thing as shtar nisuin. And I quickly said, maybe it's ksuba. Baruch shekivanti. I saw in the Achronim exactly the same thing. In the back of the Gemara, all the Perushim of the Achronim, I remember which one, he said, there's no such thing as shtar nisuin. And then he said, maybe it means ksuba. Although ksuba is not nisuin, as I said, maybe that's tam, like, paraphrasing it. The other topic is what I said yesterday about the boil nida. I just want to confirm with you that I was right in what I said. A boil nida, I saw it in the Mefoshim, I saw it in the Rambam, just to make sure. A boil nida, a person who touches nida, let's say Beis Hamikdash, Bezos Hashem built, we all know Ktum Avatara. A person, by mistake, I hope, touched the wife nida. Can happen, Then he's tameh just one day. Like a person who touched avatuma, that day you're tameh. Go to mikveh during the day. At night you're tohar. You're good to go. Good Jew. B'shenken, if someone lo leinu had relations with nida, then he becomes also avatuma. V'tehi tumoso nidosa olov. He becomes like her. What do you mean like her? Just like she is tameh 7 days, he's also tameh 7 days. However, what I said yesterday, it was correct that he's not as bad as, let's say, Zav, that if he sleeps on 10 mattresses, they all become avatuma, but rather what he sleeps on becomes rishon latuma. He's an avatuma to make other things rishon. If he touches another person, the person is a rishon, or kli becomes a rishon. So he's not a rishon latuma, he's avatuma for 7 days, but it's not as bad as Zav, which all the other things that he sleeps on become avatuma. I just remember that point was a little bit jittery yesterday, so I'm just, repainting it, and now we're good to go, and I'm okay to hear your questions now, and then we'll continue. And thank you to everyone who's on Zoom with us. Thank you to everyone on Zoom. I don't mention you enough. So yes, let's go. Let's hear the people's question. We're up to now a whole new thing, a whole beautiful, amazing sugya, which is going to be with us for the next few days, and that is Beit Shammai. Bekesef, Beit Shammai, Omrim, Dinar. The Mishnah that we've seen a few days ago, the Mishnah told us that what is the minimum amount for a woman to be mekudeshes and miskadeshes and meoreses? What is that? Says say Basil prutah. Prutah. What prutah? Prutah is always the minimum amount that is coined everywhere. Prutah is always known to be the minimum currency, the minimum value that is coined everything, gezel, kinyan, everything. Show the prutah. So Beseder say run of the mill prutah. All of a sudden, Beit Shammai change. Beit Shammai say a dinar. A dinar, as you can see in the beautiful charts, a dinar is worth a lot of money. A dinar has many, many prutahs in it, and those of you who are good and math can even calculate that, but I don't. Yeah, so Sela is the most expensive one. Then there's dinar, right? So you see dinar. Dinar is quite an expensive, high currency, high rung currency. And Beit Shammai say 1 dinar is what a woman is miskadeshes with, no less than that. And the question is why? We're going to have, I think, about 4 answers. Yeah, each one different. Why is it Beit Shammai for Kiddush Isha require a whole dinar as opposed to prutah, which is much lower? Frekt the Gemore, my tamayu de Beit Shammai. What is Beit Shammai's reason to require dinar? Omar Bizera, answer number 1. Omar Bizera shekan isha makpedes al atzmo ve'en miskadeshes bepochos medina. Be'ezras Hashem nase v'natzliach. A woman is particular about her dignity. A woman would not be miskadeshes with less than a dinar. Yeah, I think women in general would not go for 1 prutah, which is a very small amount of money. A woman has self-respect and would not be miskadeshes with less than a dinar. That brings many questions, and I'm following Rashi in the sugya. Omar Abaye, Abaye is asking, he's asking Rabbi Zera, Elamata, according to you, you go by different people's standards. Like, many women wouldn't go for less than dinar. So where do you draw the line? Kigon Bante de Rabbi Yanai. Do you know that the daughters of Rabbi Yanai, the Kapta and Afshayu, they're makpid on themselves. They're very particular about their own dignity. They're very, choshev girls. They're not miskadesh with less than 3 kabin of golden coins. You have to have 3 kabin. You basically have to have something close to 3 kilos or more of golden coins, not ksuba, to be mikadesh them. Achinami. So would you say there that they're not miskadesh with less than that? And if you say yes, the pashta yoda v'kiblo chad zuza me'acher. Let's say one of those girls who are very, very fancy, and in their family history, in their style and stylish, lifestyle, we know they don't go for less than a colossal amount of money. Let's say one of those girls actually extends her hand and willingly takes a zuz. Zuz is dinar. I should have written it in a chart. You can add it in your own words. Zuz is dinar. It's the same word. Yeah, just that's 2 synonyms. So let's say she takes 1 dinar me'acher from another guy, from a man who gives her kiddushin. Achinami de lo kiddushin. Then too, you say that it's not called kiddushin. In other words, it's a double question. Question number 1: where do you draw the line? You start telling me that the girls here are not miskadesh with less than a dinar. Then where's the standard? Where do you standardize halacha? Usually you like to standardize halacha. Here, that woman is such a fancy schmancy woman. She's from Caesarea. Her father's a billionaire and the mother makes 100,000 shekels a month, and she has 3 swimming pools. So this girl is miskadesh with, I don't know, 1 million. And that girl too, let's say, and second question is, how do you decide? It's up to any situation. Let's say that billionaire of a girl really loves a guy, and she's miskadesh with just a diamond ring, then, or in our case, a dinar. Then wouldn't you say it's kiddushin? So he's saying, how are you making all these assumptions about people? A, there's no end to your sliding scale. And B, what do you mean that's what women want? Let's say she didn't. Let's say a woman who's miskadesh with a prutah. She says, I want the prutah. You know more than her what she herself wants. A lot of questions on Beit Shammai, as explained by Rabbi Zera. Yeah. Omerle, and here I'm following Rashi, says like this. No. If the girl really extended her hand and accepted nicely and willingly any kind of money, right? Says the Ritva joins in, even prutah. I don't mean that. And Beit Shammai agreed to that. Beit Shammai would agree that if enachinami, if the girl says, yes, I do, and she accepts what the very little tabas worth a prutah or definitely a dinar, even though she's a billionaire of a girl, no problem. Enachinami. If we know what she wants clearly, under the chuppah, the Edim watch, in the very frum, halachic, the Edim, they really watch everything very well, as they should. Yeah? If she says, you see, she's being happy, she sees the value, they sometimes ask the chosan, do you notice? Did you buy it? Is it shover prutah, right? So she sees it's shover prutah. That girl, who was born between 3 swimming pools in Caesarea, she can see this is not an expensive ring, and she agrees. So then in a Chanami, I didn't speak about that. And even Beit Shammai would agree that prutah is enough. So where's the dinar from? Where did you get your dinar? Ki kamina, what I said, the kid shabelelia inami de shavya shaliyah. Let's say the Kiddushin was at night, and she knows that she was given a ring or given money, but she doesn't know how much. Or let's say she was not present at her own wedding. Corona, Gaza war, I don't know what happened, but she sent a shaliach to receive the Kiddushin, and she didn't tell the shaliach what kind of money to receive. She left it up to the shaliach to imagine in his own mind how much to get. In other words, in English, this case of nighttime, she doesn't know how much. She knows the chosan, and she knows she's giving miskadesh. Nobody's fooling her. She knows this is Reuven Pachkalovsky from Hebron Yeshiva, and she loves him and she wants him. She knows everything. It's nighttime, and the photographers are driving her crazy, So she doesn't see what's going on. She doesn't notice how much is the money given to her. Yeah, or there was a shliach. She didn't speak about money. In English, that's called default. In other words, there was no particular choice of hers. The default amount, I still hold by what I'm saying, is a dinar. Unless she's a bas Rabbi Hanai, right? Then a regular girl, enochinami, if we don't know otherwise, then we do have to find standard. I believe the standard of the girl who doesn't know right now what's going on, how much is it, I heighten the standard. Heighten, you say? Yeah. I heighten the standard more than who? The Besilel. I'm Beit Shammai, and I think the average girl would go for how much? For dinar. Ooh, what about the daughters of Rabbi Anai? Ooh, those fancy people. That's machlokes rishonim. What? They're still single. Yeah. Right. So those girls, the Japs. What about them? The JBP, Jewish Babylonian princesses, the JBP. So those girls, what about them? Machlokes rishonim. Rashi says that by them, enochinami, the default is a whole load of gold. They are different. By them, enochinami, if it's nighttime or shliach, we don't know. They are known to be the exception to the rule. They are millionaire, they're fancy, they're snobbish, high society, and those girls, enochinami, unless known otherwise, they would go for a huge amount of money. But the average girl would go for dinar. Taisis and Ritva don't like that because they claim on Rashi the sato dvorecha l'shiurim. Halacha always has to be standard completely. So they say even those girls, unless known otherwise, will go for dinar. That's the different machlokes. That's opinion number one. How do we explain Beit Shammai? That is for one reason, that the standard girl, unless known otherwise, up or down, the standard girl, unless she specifies another need, or unless she's the daughter of the biggest kablan in Beit Shemesh, I don't know, unless she's a regular girl, her standard, unless known otherwise, is dinar. Yeah, you take her to dinner. So I'm joking. Yeah, you give her a dinar, and that is the Kiddushin. By the way, you can take your girl out to dinner, and there would also be Kiddushin. Yes, right? Remember? Let's say he takes her down, sits her down to a meal in a nice place, and says, because anything that's worth money, right, is like food. Yeah, even food. We'll see later, people Mukudesh with food. We saw it before. And that was explanation number one. Comes the second explanation. Rav Yosef Omar. Rav Yosef says differently. The chart is going to come handy now. Ta'amayu de Beit Shammai, the reason of Beit Shammai, they follow the reason of Kedov Yehuda Omar of Asi. I mean, Beit Shammai lived before Yehuda Omar of Asi, but what he said is what they meant. Yeah, the logic of Rav Yehuda Omar of Asi is what's behind the idea of Beit Shammai. The Omar of Yehuda Omar of Asi. He says, I'm just reading and translating, and then we'll see the numbers. Kol kesef ha'amur b'toiro kesef tzuri. Whenever kesef is mentioned in the Torah talks about big money. Kesef tsuri, that is kesef from the land, from the city in Lebanon called Tzor, or Tyre in English. Then used a Tyre place. Tyre is expensive in Yiddish, yeah? So there was a place of merchants. There was a place where the dollar was really strong. Oh, excuse me, the money was really strong, yeah? Kesef tsuri. And kesef tsuri is always 8 times more than the regular money. V'shel divreihem kesef medina. Money that is not mentioned in the Torah, but it's not mentioned in the Torah specifically with the word kesef, that money we always assume is kesef medina. Let me explain. The word kesef, can you translate the Hebrew word kesef into English? Silver, or? Don't get so philosophical. What? Money. And this we're going, kisufim, you're right. Very nice. I'm very impressed with your Hebrew. Very, very nice, but that's what I meant. Kisufin is like yearning. Very nice, amazing, nice, but that's we're not there. We're not learning Maharal right now, or Tilim. Now, kesef, this is this sugya right over here. The word kesef either means money in general, and money is a very big word. Yeah, money, what does money mean? A lot of money. What's a lot of money? From my 8 years old, a lot of money is 100 shekels, yeah? Or kesef means silver, the metal called silver. Oh, I'm reading again. When the Torah specifically says the word kesef, not that the Torah talks about paying and payments and knas and the stories. When the Torah tells you the magic word kesef, it means kesef tsuri. Why? Kesef tsuri always means silver. Because kesef tsuri is always higher than other kesef medina, therefore it does not go below ma'ah. You can look in the chart if you want. I think for you it's easier than for me. Sela, dinar, and ma'ah are the 3 currencies that still fall under kesef. From pundion down to prutah, pundion, isar, and prutah, those 3 are only made out of copper. And kesef tsuri doesn't exist in copper. I'll give you a very, very simple example. We all know that in more advanced countries, you have higher currencies, right? Yeah, let's say I don't remember. Let's say I assume in Vietnam, I don't know, or India. Yeah, their money is so small that there is no such money in even in Israel and America, right? In other words, the smallest coin that we have is bigger than the one of I don't know, of Vietnam. I think. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The 10 agorot for us is the smallest coin. In a more backwards country, they have money that's worth something which is less than 10 agorot. That's what's going on over here. Kesef tsuri goes from dinar, shekel is also there, where let's leave shekel alone. Shekel, dinar, ma'o is the smallest one, and it's made out of kesef. Oh, so now, whenever the Torah says the word kesef, you have to know this now, because that will be the entire next sugya. This is the basis for a sugya we're going to see now. Kesef mentioned in the Torah means silver, meaning automatically kesef tsuri. However, v'shel divreihem kesef medina. That's very misleading. Divreim doesn't mean something Rabbanan invented. Divreim means that, let's say the Torah talks about payment, money, but it doesn't say the word kesef. Yeah, for example, when the Torah says that if somebody punched his friend's face, chas v'sholom, then he has to pay 5 payments. As far as I know, it doesn't say the word kesef over there. That's what Gemara says in Amud Beis. It says you should pay, you should compensate, whatever. It doesn't say the word kesef. Then he means money, not silver. Money? Money can also be prutos, right? Can also be the lower coin made out of copper, such as prutah. So therefore what? Say Beit Shammai as follows. Does it say kesef in the Torah regarding Kiddushin? Quick question. At the beginning of this week's weekly portion, you read the weekly portion from the Old Testament? You do? That's nice. What does it say in this week's parsha? That Avram bought the field of 100 shekel kesef asodeh. How do you know a woman is acquired with kesef? Kicha from Stephron. So indirectly, through Gzera Shova, we know that a woman has to be acquired with something not money. Kesef. Kesef means silver. Therefore, we go for the kesef tsuri. Wait a minute. So how do you know it's dinar? Yeah. What are we talking? There's sela, dinar, and ma'ah. Ma'ah, mem ayin hey, ma'ah is also made out of silver. So why do Beit Shammai go up to dinar? Maybe a woman can be miskadesh with ma'ah, which is also silver. says Rashi the following thing. Once the Torah took us out of the realm of prutah, that is, the Torah wants big money. When the Torah says kesef, says I mean business. I want the guy to pay real money. Once we're already in the realm of big money, we prefer the bigger money called dinar and not mo'o. Let me give an example. Let's say you're a real estate dealer and you take people around to see apartments, and every apartment you show is absolutely perfect and no blemishes, right? Nothing, no nizila ever happened there. So now you show the couple, a Tmimis Dike young American couple, you show them an apartment, and the apartment has exactly 3 small bedrooms. And the woman right away says, no, I want a big apartment. Would the next apartment you show her have 3.5 tiny rooms? If you're smart, no. If she saw 3 small rooms, she says, I want big, you're not going to show her something which is 1 meter bigger. You're going to show her already 5 rooms, right? In other words, once the Torah got us out of the limited, constricted, mitzumtza mindset of a prutah, and we want big money, then we assume you're not looking for the smallest one of the big money, which is mo'o, but you rather already go for dinar, which is a more mechubadik, nice sum of dinar of silver. And therefore, hence, we say that when the Torah says kesef outright, such as ki yikach ish isha kicha kicho nosati kesef asodeh, kesef is silver. And if we want silver, then we already want silver. Then we want dinar, which is the not biggest, but the run average, not the smallest one of the kesef. And that's what Beit Shammai say. Nothing to do with the human psychology or women's psychology. It's to do with the requirements of the Torah. Kesef means silver, and real silver, don't go for the smallest silver. If you already go out, then go out. Go already, all 9 yards, go out, have a field day and get a dinar. Therefore, the guy should give her a dinar, and less than that, she's not miskadeshes, and that's a Torah requirement. Yes, let's continue, and let's hear your questions. And then save your entire life until you get a silver dinar. Then yes, according to Shammai, some people, they collect for the children's chasana, right? Olden, right? You collect, you hear all these Yerushalmi guys who come to collect for the children's chasana, so they should collect for the dinner too. People buy their children apartments, appliances, sheitel. Okay, better they buy a scarf. I agree. Yeah, for financial reasons. Yeah, all very nice. Yeah, so you should also buy the Medina. Yeah, you pay for photographer, videographer. You pay for the band. You pay. Yeah, so you pay for the dinner. It's an expensive business. I hear it's a concern. By the way, halacha is like Basila. Lucky for us. Yeah, lucky us. Halacha is Basila, so you don't have to have a dinner. Prutah is enough. So just to calm you down. It says Ma'az Silver. Rashi says that, and I saw it. I checked it yesterday again. Rashi says it's a mechloekes rishonim. Yeah. That I checked. Trust me on that one. Rashi says it later, and Rashi says it here. And I checked in the Oruch. The Oruch says that the highest coin of Nechoshes is the pundion. I was happy to see that because it's not. Yeah. I researched that. Yeah. Okay. Pundion. He has the whole thing in Greek, something, whatever. Weiter. Gufa. Let's now focus. Let's leave Beit Shammai as Beit Shammai, and now let's just focus on the last statement made by Rav Yehuda Marvasi. Gufa, let's focus now on this. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav Asi. Kol kesef amur b'Torah. Whenever the Torah says the word kesef outright, black on white, it means kesef tzuri. That's high money. That's high standard. V'shel divreihem kesef medina. By the way, divreihem, let me just, I don't know if I was clear. Divreihem are Chazal. Now, many times Chazal make their own halachas, such as the upcoming Festival of Lights, Chanukah, and many times Chazal give you the standards for the Torah, right? Chazal tell you what is called Meneches Machshet, right? They tell all kinds of things that describe and define what the Torah. Divrei means if the Torah is not specifically telling you kesef, the Torah tells you payment, then it's up to Chazal to decide each case separately how big the payment would be, right? And many times it's a prutah, then it's a prutah. Many cases, we'll see later cases in the Gemara. Frek the Gemara v'klolahu, is that so? Is that really a rule? Is there such a rule that tells me that every time the Torah says kesef, it means kesef tsuri, real silver from tso, the real dinar? Is that so? I'm telling you already now, in this sugya, I at some point abandoned Rashi. Rashi is unclear. Rashi is attacked by many Rishonim, and everything we're going to tell you now is on behalf of another Rishon. You have to guess which Rishon did I choose to look at. How did you know the Ritva? How did you know? It was the Ritva. Wow. This trip to Seville is yours. Yeah. Barei Taina. The Ritva just does it. Barei Taina. Look at the fact the Gemara. The Gemara is now going to challenge what we just said. That it says the word kesef, automatically it means what? It means silver. What silver? Dinar. A dinar of silver. Wait a second. Barei Taina. We all know the halacha. When does a person have to take shvua? Moide, the mikzas. Everyone here graduated 3 bovis, yeah? Varei taina. When a person is a taina, excuse me, mister, I gave you, what? I don't know, 200 shekels to look after. Where are they? And you say, no, 100. You have to take shvua. Okay. Where is the source for this halacha? Pashas mishpatim. Taina means a claim of which is answered by moide mikzas. It says in the Torah of Mishpatim, listen carefully to the words here. A man gives his friend, like he hands over like a deposit, kesef or kelim lishmo. He gave him money. Kesef, silver, money. Okay, silver. Or kelim, or whatever kelim are, yeah, utensils, tools, whatever kelim, items, lishmo, to look after. Okay, so it says the word kesef, and kesef means a dinar of kesef. Okay. Vitnan, look what it says in the Mishnah. It says Shvuas Dayonim. It says when is it that a person Shvuas Dayonim means Shvuas Deoraisa, such as Moide B'Miktzas. How much is the money? Let me ask you a question. Let's say I gave Baruch. I gave him 2 prutos or 4 prutos to look after, and I'm a serious guy. I'm a nitpicking guy. Baruch, where are the 4 prutos I gave you? And Baruch says, no, you only gave me 2 prutos. Then is that enough to justify a shvua? Is that maybe prutah? No, says the Mishnah, no. Shtei kesef, meaning, interestingly, the minimum amount that was originally deposited, not the amount that he swears, only if I deposited at least 2 coins of kesef, the minimal coins, which are 2 ma'ois. All the Rishonim say that, yeah? If I deposited by Baruch or by anybody else 2 ma'ois of kesef, that's the lowest coin of kesef, right? Then, only then, the hoidah shove prutah, yeah, the hoidah shove prutah, and let's say the one whom I deposited with, whoever that is, was only moide on 1 prutah, and is koifer in everything else, as long as the part that he admits to is 1 prutah, but and the rest is denying his koifer, that's machlokes Rav Shmuel, but that's what the Mishnah says is chayev shvua. What's wrong with that? Well, it says kesef. It says if a person gave kesef, and they would say silver. If he gave him kesef, means the worth of shtei kesef, 2 ma'os of silver, no less than that. Only that requires shvua. That is enough that Beis Din care about to create a shvua. So what's the question on Shammai? It's good. Why? It's nice. We say kesef is silver. A lot of Rishonim have to say whatever they say. Says the Ritva like this. Says the Ritva something Yoinish. Says, listen. If money, as I told you before, I wasn't giving you extra examples, which I sometimes do. Money, if the Torah tells you, a person has to give money, then I can understand Chazal said money, that's a very, very fluid thing. We all know that what's called a lot of money for one person is not called a lot of money to another person. Actually, Dinar says that, right? My 8 years old idea of a lot of money is not the idea of Rothschild for a lot of money, and many, many in between. If it's up to Chazal to decide, the kesef means money, then Chazal can make all kinds of rules called Dover Linyonoi. Kiddushin is Dinar, and what's his name? And here it's Shtei Mois, which is less than a dinar. In another case, it's prutah. We play as we go. But according to you, Shammai, not Shammai, according to Rabbi Yehuda Maravasi, you say that the Torah, when it says kesef, it wants to give us an idea of a silver coin. If we talk about, if let's say, I'll give an example before we continue. Let's say I tell him, let's say we run a campaign at Tzedakah, and I say each one should donate money to the cause, like to get them online, money to the cause, $18 or 1,800, I don't know. But if I tell you guys, let's give a silver coin to the poor guy, then many would ask me, listen to me, what kind of silver coin do you mean, right? A silver coin means something much more specific than money. So if you go with your heilig gezach of kesef 2 being a silver coin, how come by Kiddushin you say dinar, and all of a sudden here by deposit you say 2 mo'is of kesef? What changed? Mele money is fluid, but when it comes to silver coin, which is choshev and expensive, what makes you say by Kiddushin 1 dinar and by the deposit 2 mo'is? Why? You can't go free anymore and so flexible. Answers the Gemara. Hossam, it's all the Ritva. Over there's a reason why we went for less than the normal. Hossam dumi the Kalim. Over there, money was compared to Kalim. Ma Kalim shnaim, af kesef shnaim. Just like Kalim, did you hear the words Kalim, plural, are 2? So to kesef has to be 2 coins of kesef, or their value. Uma kesef, and now the Ritva is a different version here. Uma Kalim dover she'eina choshuv, af kesef dover she'eina choshuv. I'm reading the version of the Ritva. I'm a Ritva fan. Says the Ritva like this. Because it says there, if you gave your friend, what's Kalim? Objects. Objects? The Gemara says, according to one opinion, let's say I gave you, you're okay to be part of the game? Yeah? I gave you, no, I trust you, I'll never make you do this. Yeah? I gave you 2 mechotim. I gave you 2 needles to look after. 2 booby pins. 2 needles worth prutah. You have to take shvua if you cover on one of them. So kalim are not choshuv. Kalim means even the minimal kind of tool, minimal kind of object. Mimele they reflect on money, that even the minimum of the silver, which is more, is also chayv shvua. Brilliant. Brilliant. You get that? Again. Really say Rav Asi, no. When the Torah says kesef, it means a silver coin, a good one, a dinar of silver. That's normal. Over there, there's a special halacha, a special dispensation, not dispensation actually, a special chumrah or kula, depends which way you read, a special halacha, because kesef over there is compared to kalim, we say, I'm talking about coins that are similar to kalim. Just like kalim are 2 items, and secondly, the kalim are what? The kalim could be something very little. I gave you 2 little Chinese tchotchke toys. Still, you have to take shvua. So to the kesef is on one hand silver, but within the range of silver, it has to be the minimum of the silver, just like kalim are minimal. Let's dance. That's the Ritva. That's Pshat in the Gemara, and I didn't understand the other Rishonim. Now, so that's the answer. So that's exception to the rule. But otherwise, when the Torah says kesef, it means something silver, preferably what? A dinar of silver. Frek the Gemara, next question. Darei Meiser. I'm going to disprove you. What's your dogma? What's your idea here? Every time the Torah says kesef, you have to Google kesef. Every time the Torah says the word kesef, it has to mean silver and would usually mean a silver dinar. Let's look. Let's test it. We all know that Meiser Sheni. What do you do with Meiser Sheni if you don't have koach to schlep an entire truck to Yerushalayim? You're pointed on money. I fell into the trap. It says kesef. Oh, kesef. It says take the silver coin in your hand and go to Yerushalayim. Okay, so it has to be silver. Interesting. But now look what it says. It says in the Mishnah, "Apoiret sela mimois Meiser Sheni." It says there, and we actually learned it about Metzia Daf Nun Hey Nun Zayin over there. We're not going to the entire sugya there, but if you remember, there's always an issue. Let's say a person took a silver coin, a silver dinar to Yerushalayim, full of kedusha of all the Meiser Sheni from back home. Now he's not going to the makolet that sells a few carrots and oranges. He's not going to give him a silver coin, right? Like you can't use in Europe. I know they don't accept 200 euros, right? In taxis, in many places, I had that. Yeah. A coin that's too big, he's not going to accept it. Yeah, it's too much. It's a currency that's too high. So what do? You go to the money changer, and there's a question if you can or can't poret. We all know poret in Hebrew means to break, to change. But poret comes from prutot. It says that if you are in Yerushalayim, you may be interested and you may take the silver coin and change it by the money changer, by the shulchani, from silver, the kedusha of it, to many, many mois of nechoshes of copper, called what? Called prutos, and the meiser still applies to the nechoshes. Bad news, because you just told me kesef means silver. So how can the kedusha b'chlal apply to what? You can't take this. I'll give you an example. Let's say I want to take my silver coin and move that kedusha to a teddy bear. No, you can't. It has to be either fruit, yeah, or vegetables, yeah, or other foods actually in Yerushalayim, other foods in Yerushalayim, or to other kesef. Well, you said kesef means kesef silver. So how can you change it to small coins that are actually from copper, prutos? How does that work? According to you, it shouldn't work. 1 second. And says the Gemara, no, over there it's different. Kesef, ha-kesef riba. Because it says there the magic letter, which in English is the word, the ha-kesef. Ha-kesef is redundant. It's there to tell me, give me a second, ha-kesef is telling me not only kesef silver, also extra options, even less than kesef, which are copper, which is nechoshes, which is prutah. One more. Hekdesh, it says about hekdesh, v'nosan ha-kesef, the you give your hekdesh, yeah, let's say you're makdish something to Beis HaMikdash, an item. The Beis HaMikdash have nothing to do with their item. You're makdish to Beis HaMikdash teddy bear. Teddy bear, well, they're going to do a teddy bear in Beis HaMikdash. What do? You take the kedusha of the teddy bear and you put it on kesef. Oh, that's silver, right? Kesef is silver. Domer Shmuel, and that Shmuel we also learned to Dov Metzia. Hekdesh shove mone. Let's say you took hekdesh worth 100 zuz. Wow, that's an expensive bear, yeah? Shechilal al shove prutah. You mechalal it over a shove prutah, mechalal it over another item which is worth just 1 prutah, or actually a coin of prutah, mechulal, even though the value doesn't make sense. The Gemara says there, the whole idea of oino, remember, why can't you lie and do this to other people, to overprice and give unfair prices? It says, because it says el re'ehu, it says over there, yeah, it says something to do with the person, but the hekdesh, you're allowed to, ish es ochiv, lotonu ish es ochiv, don't lie a man to his brother, but hekdesh you can't. There's a question, maybe you'll have to pay later, we're not going to the details, but the actual pidyon itself, it can be pointed as something of colossal amount, on 1 prutah, prutah of nechoshes. How does the kedusha catch on nechoshes? I thought it only applies to what? To silver, because it says kesef. And it says the Gemara, hosam nami, there too, kesef yolif mi meiser. In other words, and we're going to finish with that, and I'm going to hear your questions. Kesef, there's gzera shava. Just like the pidyon of what? Of meiser sheni, we have established is also good for nechoshes, even though it says silver, because it says ha-kesef to include copper. So too, kesef ha-kesef, another similar pidyon of hekdesh. Here too, silver is not the only thing, but also nechoshes. But so far so good. Soon the disaster will happen, meaning that this theory is going to be broken. But lemaisa, up until now, we are surviving with the pshat of Rav Yehuda Marvasi, Rav Yehuda, that kesef written in the Torah means only silver, usually a dinar of silver, because kesef means silver, not money, when it's mentioned in the Torah. And so to the woman, according to Beit Shammai, is only miskadeshes with the dinar for the same reason, no less than that. Oh, questions, comments, or we're just going to say good Shabbos to everybody on YouTube that's on our channel. And good Shabbos to everybody in Torah anytime. And let's hope before Shabbos, all the captured people are going to be back home. Besimcha ubenachas, with Mashiach dancing. And may we be well and safe. Beshalom. Atzlocha ubrocha. Good Shabbos.